Stinky Popcorn Boys.
We watch movies and eat popcorn.
Hello. We are the Stinky Popcorn Boys. Just some boys talking about movies and how they made us feel. I am Patrick Baskwell.
Nailed it. And I'm John Gilardi, and molto bene, andiamo, Italian words.
Oh, fuck. I was going to say, I was trying to think of what she says at the end when she leaves the message. She said, well, I want to, your
I'm
skin.
Patrizia Gucci.
No. Where she says, like, when she leaves in the message, and she's like, your fucking skin, you don't fucking deserve the skin that you're in, or something like that. And it's like, what the fuck?
Ruthless. So we watched House of Gucci.
Would you know by clicking on the light, looking at it?
Yeah, so you know that. It's a Ridley Scott joint.
Yeah.
Starring
Stephanie Germanotti.
Wait, who's that?
Lady Gaga.
Oh, wow. Oh, so she is Italian.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Her parents own an Italian restaurant, a pretty fancy Italian restaurant in New York.
Dang.
Yeah, she doesn't come from the streets. She's rich.
Oh, damn. Yeah, so starring Lady Gaga, Kylo Ren, Scarface.
Ooh, yeah.
The Joker.
The Joker.
And the AI from the cyborg from Alien. Jeremy Irons.
Okay, yeah. I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
I don't think Jeremy Irons is an alien.
Yeah, I think he is.
I don't think he is.
All right,
we have to look
explain
it up.
the movie while I look it up.
Okay, so also, quick shout out to my friend Jack Houston, who played the assassin in Boardwalk Empire. It's great seeing you and stuff. I know you are not my friend, and you don't give a shit about me, but he was Dominic.
Oh, in this movie?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He's like the one-face assassin. Jack Houston. He's part of the Houston family legacy. So Angelica Houston, John Houston, acting fucking royalty.
So do you actually know this guy?
No, I don't know him personally.
Oh.
Are you kidding me? He doesn't know me. He doesn't care about me. But I loved him in Boardwalk Empire, and it's always good to see. Like, you know, whenever you like develop an affinity for a person who plays a character in a movie, and you're like, I saw you when you started doing this thing, and now you're on your way up, and fuck yeah, dude! I'm so glad you're getting work. But he never really blew up the way that I wanted.
He's like perpetually typecasted as Sicilian hitman, basically, or
yeah, I don't know. He wasn't able to take off the way that I wanted him to, because he does a fucking great job in Boardwalk Empire. So anyway, this movie is about...
It's a biopic, essentially.
It's a biopic of the Gucci family towards the
twilight, I guess.
Towards the twilight of the Gucci family actually running Gucci.
Yeah.
We're going to say Gucci a lot, too. So if you have issues with the way that we say Gucci, you might as well just turn it off now.
Barbra Streisand.
Sand.
Barbra Streisand. Different movie.
Yeah, that's right. Licorice Pizza was a trailer in this movie.
Yeah, so the movie trailers from before this took so long, which is curious because it's not a blockbuster.
Yeah. Also, House of Gucci's been out for a while.
Yeah. So I guess maybe there's a strategy where it's like, well, you're here watching House of Gucci after a while, so you're gonna sit here.
Yeah.
You want to see this, but
you guys really came out to see House of Gucci. So you know what? We're gonna promote everything.
Yeah. So we
so
we went to a 6:25 showing. The movie didn't start till 7:10, and then we got out almost like 9:30.
Maybe like 9 almost 9:40, 9:38, I think, when we.
So, but I mean,
and we stood up as soon as the credits were started.
Well,
we're out.
I logged it in my letterbox and I rolled out. We're also in person, so we saw it in person together, which is a cool experience. I think we've done this once before, maybe.
Suicide Squad.
We saw that together?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw it a second time, but I saw it with you or something like that.
Yeah, because we went to Alamo Draft House.
Yep. Okay.
You sold me on it.
Yeah.
And now I'm addicted. But you've sold me on it, and then you deprived me of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can come visit.
You're like, yeah, just get a better car and be able to drive.
see if it can make it. What's the worst that can happen?
She might be able to make it.
Yeah. So with that all that said, I personally didn't feel like it dragged. Since we're on the topic of time and
about
trailers
it,
and all
yeah.
that stuff, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like biopics. I love the Italian family kind of stuff to it. I like the performances. Jared Leto's acting kind of settled in.
Yeah.
I've noticed with him, he tries very hard, and you can see that he's trying hard. But I know they didn't shoot this chronologically, obviously, but it definitely felt settled in
Yeah.
by the end.
We got older.
Yeah, that too.
So he settled into himself.
Yeah, so like,
Sorry.
I enjoyed Jared Leto in this, and
I really liked Lady Gaga in this.
Yeah, and Lady Gaga was so good with her performance, obviously, and the subtleties. Like, I think to me that's one of the biggest strengths is her acting was so good at portraying the character's motives.
Yeah.
You could see her think, which partially was she wasn't supposed to be a very intelligent person, I guess, and like she's not as good at scheming as she thinks she is. But you can see it because that's probably maybe how she was, or that's how like she wore it on her sleeve, and so there's that. And then you also have Adam Driver, who does a good job, but the characterization of his character was hard to pick up, and I don't know if that's because there wasn't enough to give, or wasn't enough given to us, or because Lady Gaga did such a good job, and you knew the complications and the contradictions from that character.
Yeah.
With Adam Driver's character, I didn't know where he was at. I didn't really see the shifts, because like it's hard because like maybe he was worn out over time, but like he was kind of consistently being manipulated in a toxic relationship, and somehow you kind of don't like him for it, and that's like he was in an emotionally abusive relationship, and he got out of it, and you should feel empowered by that and like go him, but also he's very like scummy, and somehow even though he's not, it's very confusing.
That was the very like that's one of the things, and we'll get into this more as we have more that we talk about with this. But
that's a sentence.
That was a sentence. But I fucking lost my train of thought.
His portrayal
that shift like the whole time constantly he in private, I just wonder if there's like a lot of his performance that we didn't see because it got edited out or something.
Yeah,
because like constantly throughout it he's like talking with Lady Gaga or talking with Patrizia. And he's like, "Hey, hey, don't fucking do that. I don't care about Gucci."
Yeah, but then
in the next scene, he would be like, "Guess what? I agree with Patrizia."
Yeah.
And blah blah blah.
I agree. I think that
like it felt like there was a scene missing. It felt like there was a lot of scenes missing with Adam Driver's character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what really made me think that is there was one scene. The scene where Al Pacino, Scarface, where he's getting fucked, where he's getting bought, and he's like, "Hey, look, check out these cool loafers I got," and he's like, "Hey, where the fuck you get those? Those look great. There's no way." And then with just the characterization of Adam Driver peeking in the door, he peeks in the door, and he's like, I guess I do have to go confront this."
Yeah.
Like, I think that there's a lot more that we didn't see.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wonder if that's like an editing thing or if it's just like, because honestly, I felt like this movie was sort of disjointed.
Yeah.
Like it was, I'm very conflicted about it because it's like, I liked it. And I like that vibe of the biopic. I like the way we moved. But I lost track of time. I lost track of where we are.
Yeah.
Like, because we went from 1984, and then I guess like by her hair we're supposed to know.
Maybe. And his hair gray is very subtly. It's tough because... It's not tough because... like an example of this is... Or something confusion disjointed is she's setting up the hit.
And it's 1995.
Yeah, but then it's 2 years later... when he gets killed in 97 or no?
No.
95.
She goes to jail 2 years later.
Okay, but it feels like there was a time.
Spoiler alert. That's what happens.
Yeah.
It's in the news.
There was a time jump from when she meets with the assassins to when the assassination happens. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, the daughter is, I guess, one of a vague time.
But she's like not even a part of it.
Yeah.
It was like the stuff that was there. Like I think.
Well, it was about the family.
Yeah.
And you really only got the chronological journey of Patrizia, and you got enough of I forgot his name.
Maurizio.
What is it?
Adam Driver.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maurizio. And then the kind of supporting characters, his dad and then his uncle and his cousin. I mean, you get their story, kind of. You get enough of it. But like the movie doesn't give you enough of the kind of supporting stuff, the business decisions. You're very given and on the like the most you're given is when he's bought a car and his new side chick.
That was another thing that absolutely fucking threw me.
Yeah.
At the end, whenever they're having that meeting at the end,
and
they're like, "Guess what? This is bad." And I was like, "Hold on." Everything that we just got shown is like, this is good. Things are going good for him. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, hold on.
Well, then it validated her shitting on him, saying you're a bad businessman.
And they were like, you're a bad businessman.
But then he got murdered by her. I'm like, she never got painted as the villain.
I mean,
when
like
she,
that.
Yeah.
But like, there's like, it's so funny because it's like, oh, this needs to be a movie. It's like, oh, it is a movie. Mm-hmm. But it's like, there feels like there's stuff that we're missing, like that they didn't connect up for us.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I just really feel like it's like there is a much better movie in here.
I mean, there's so many of these biopic business American dream movies that have been made.
Yeah.
Where you get the sense of the journey of the person, but you also have the corresponding business growth, empire growth. And in this, you don't have that. I don't know when. There's some side comments like, "Oh, no one's going to design for Gucci."
Yeah,
and like all these comments and stuff. But I don't know how Gucci is doing. I'm assuming it's doing bad due to incompetent family business stuff, and it's fading.
Yeah,
like that's given to us, but there's never any stakes that their feet are to the fire. The only things that change it are like we get to the conclusion.
It has to tell us what happens.
Yeah, and we're just presenting buyouts. Every time it's a buyout, or it's like a manipulation. It's manipulating Aldo, or I guess exposing him, and then manipulating Paolo, and then buy them out each. And then we go. And then, oh my God, all of a sudden, Adam Driver, now he's being bought out. That's how we know that it's not doing well.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like, I don't know. It's weird because the whole movie is like very much, like I feel like Lady Gaga, Patrizia, is absolutely not justified in murder, but it's like, no, you're kind of a dick. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. You said there's bad. Like, there's bad because he wasn't like, hey, listen, I might be Gucci, but like, I really do just want to do, like, it all just comes down to honesty. Here's the thing, guys. If you're gonna be a partner in a relationship, just being honest.
Yeah.
And it's just, if the person is like, hey, I just want to do trash driving. I just want to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. But if you want something more than that, and the person that you're being honest with doesn't want that, then maybe that's the time that you say, hey, we're fucking done. You don't fucking have them murdered.
Yeah. Well, her issue is
she comes from nothing.
Yeah, and not that. It was more of a fixation on a dream and an idea, of excess and all that. I don't know, like
there's something there. There's something.
Her character is so clear, and a big highlight of the movie.
Yeah.
And I think it makes
Lady Gaga is going to get lost in this mess of a movie because there's too much stuff and they're trying to pull from stuff. But Lady Gaga did a great fucking job.
Yeah.
I think, personally.
Yeah. And she was the star. And I mean, obviously she's a star, but like it was good. And you got what you needed from her. And I think that's maybe, and I don't think it's her being so good and her character story being so good to detract or making the other ones feel less than. I think the other ones were less than due to editing or something.
Yeah.
And, I think a big theme in this was, toxic relationships, or just an unhealthy relationship and bad communication or manipulation, all these different things. Because it's and the cadence and pacing is so bad. And, and you see him get manipulated and then we cut to him doing it, and like, I get that, like there's definitely like the one with the power and the manipulation, the emotionally abusive one. Yeah. Driving the other one, and the other one, Adam Driver in this situation, is doing it, and is owning it.
Like Lady Macbeth, but like somehow stupid.
Yeah. It's I see what maybe I can see where it maybe was a choice and not like beyond like before the editing room, because I can see I see it as a lack of agency, I guess, for him.
Well, because sorry, I don't mean
either way. Before to wrap up, I think there's a really good movie about toxic relationships here. A really good opportunity to tell one.
Yeah,
that fell short.
But I think too. So if we have our toxic relationships, we've got a movie about toxic relationships. Like it feels like every scene that is like the scenes that are like, hey, here's Lady Gaga, here's Patrizia, and she's manipulating Adam Driver, and they're having a discussion about what she wants, and she's pushing on to him. And then in the next scene, we see immediately him fold and present her ideas as his ideas. Yeah. The way that it was presented to us and the way that it felt like it was maybe portrayed is that when we got to the end of the scene with Lady Gaga and Adam Driver was like, no, that's not the way I'm going to do things. And then we pick up in the beginning of the scene and he's like, yes, that's the way I'm going to do things. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, feels dishonest. Yeah. But so what I'll propose to you is that in order to do that is you start the Lady Gaga scene where he says, no, I'm not going to do that. And then we see, because that's the best part of any sort of manipulation scene anyway, is like, listen, you don't actually, like, think about it. Yeah. And then you have to see them get to the yes. And then he can go in with confidence, and then you see the reaction, you see the impact of her manipulation then. Yeah. Then, but I guess...
But she's, like, not shown to be a good schemer. Like, I touched on her earlier. She's not as smart as she thinks she is. And it's even shown within the context of the scenes that he's like, no. He does stick up for himself. Yeah.
But then so immediately folds.
So you're missing the fold, because like a toxic relationship would be folding right there. Yeah. Or sticking up for yourself, but then folding or being whittled away or beaten down or demasculated or like whatever. Like you need that element there to convey that, And I think it's more powerful to see that she is not very savvy. She's not very particularly smart, but she's more savvy than cunning. She's not very cunning, but she's still getting through. And I think that would sell that toxic, unhealthy control and hold she has on him.
Because here's the movie that we just saw. The movie that we just saw is a woman who comes from nothing, who finds a man who is like a prince who's like deposed. He's like a deposed prince or whatever, but he's got this whole kingdom. Yeah. And she's like this peasant woman, or she's like not even a peasant woman. She's like she's a bar wench, because she's not in the fields, but she's a bar wench. She's doing this, and this prince comes in and she does this thing. And this woman thinks she gets him and she loves him. They love each other. It's great stuff, beautiful stuff. And she sees his greatness. and she sees how much he could be and how much he has. He has that he could just take. And so she does everything that she can to try and make the path the best way for him. Because she wants him to succeed, because that's his family. She wants him to fulfill the place that he's supposed to be. And then he lets her do it. And he's like, he reaps the benefits of her work and does all that stuff. And then at the end of the day, he says, I didn't want you to do any of that stuff now that I'm at the top.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And it's like that. Holy shit. Hell yeah, that's a great movie. Mm-hmm. But the movie that we saw has that within it. And I'm not saying that we need to lose that stuff. But that kernel, that through, is like so close to being there. But we're missing like the shifts. Because we need to see, like, if that's our arc, like we miss any of the important decisions. We see the effect of the important decisions.
Yeah.
But we don't see any of the important decisions. That being said, I liked seeing it, and I liked that style. Lady Gaga, whoever did her makeup, and also who like they set her up, beautiful style, great stuff.
She was looking good, and she just looked
serving looks, dude.
Yeah, she like. No, yeah, she did a great job.
Someone out there is cringing from me saying serving looks.
I don't know. I think I like the range of looks she had. She just looked like an Italian woman, which sounds dumb because she's an Italian, but I was there, and like I believe that was a person. And Lady Gaga is a very, I think, beautiful woman, and but like there's the way the character felt believable, and where she came from, and I don't know.
There's a ferocity, to her,
and so that was great. And even just her characterization, the first thing is her like walking through. She parks and then walks through like a garbage truck place where there's a bunch of workers, and they're all catcalling her. And at first you're like, oh man, poor girl.
And she's like,
but she loves it.
She's eating it up.
And like she progressively loves it more and more. So you kind of see this characterization in progress. Instead of being blasted out front. And that's really good. And I mean, speaking of looks, Jared Leto's makeup was really good.
Yeah.
That was good. The character was funny.
It was. It was very close to like a weird Christopher Walken, like an Italian Christopher Walken.
Yeah, speaking of the Italian, the accents and stuff are pretty good.
Well, I don't know if we're necessarily good judges of that.
No, but
I feel like Lady Gaga's. It felt
good.
It felt good. I feel like
as an American with Italian family.
I feel like they should have been doing
just English.
They should have been speaking Italian. Also, I don't think that Adam Driver's Italian accent was very good.
No, his so I did redact that because his was very like European trying to speak English, just vaguely European person trying to speak English. Like, how do you say? Like he said, how do you say a few times? It's like, I don't know. Maybe that's a translation. Like maybe that's a vernacular they use often. But there's so many times that like a European person will say, how do you say? Cooking?
How you say?
Yeah, but he just sounded like a vague European speaking English, who spoke it pretty well, but like he just didn't. I don't know. But I really liked Al Pacino being the kind of like not frail but clumsy old man.
Yeah,
like his movement was very good. Remind me a lot of my grandfather, who is the same like kind of stature and just kind of clumsy old Italian man, but like a lot of like vigor.
Yeah,
and like. I don't know, not youth, but like, I don't know, just what Al Pacino was in this movie. And it just reminded me of my grandfather, so it was funny. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's like, we can't really,
I just like went down a rabbit hole of like business with family.
Yeah.
And my dad started did a business with my grandfather, and there was like betrayals and shit.
Oh my gosh.
And like I'd see my dad like walk in, slam the door, and just like put his hand on the wall and like just be pissed and like,
don't ever get into business with your family.
Yeah, and then God, it's crazy stuff. But then like my grandfather talking to me about my dad and how much he respected him and like all these different things. Like years later, it's like it's very interesting and not even close because Al Pacino did not respect his son.
Yeah,
but elements were there.
He still loved his son,
but he loved him, and I loved that because they don't portray it well, but they give you enough there where they have each other still.
Yeah,
and they're the only ones that end up with each other to an extent.
Yeah,
despite losing everything, and that's kind of sweet. And I loved like Al Pacino's character in the maybe this how probably maybe I don't know how Aldo, what's his name? Aldo.
Al Pacino's character.
Yeah, Aldo was, but like I really liked that man of just like a businessman who built an empire, but wasn't.
He wasn't the creative force.
He wasn't. Well, yeah, maybe not, but like he wasn't abusive, at least portrayed to like he like his shortcomings as a businessman were just kind of like let there be knockoffs, or let's make different things and like all the like pride in the craftsmanship and the legacy. Like there was some wholesome elements there. Maybe he was a terrible person in real life. I don't know, but as we saw in the movie. He was a pretty good guy.
He seemed all right.
Yeah, he seemed all right. Like he seemed decent, I guess.
Yeah,
is how I can put it best, and just felt very human and real. I mean, the only character that didn't was Adam Driver's.
Adam Driver's character, I feel like, was one of those. And again, I don't know. I haven't done any research onto this case at all.
Yeah,
but he feels like one of those, like. He's an amalgam. Like, obviously, he's a real person, I feel like. Because, again, I don't know. He could be an amalgam. They could have done a mass shooting and murder the whole family. And, like, they're just like, we're just going to make it one person. I don't think that's what they did. I'm pretty sure it was one murder.
Yeah.
But, so he felt like a lot of times at the center of, like, a case like this, because everybody around is alive, and so they can tell their story, the person who was murdered is not able to do that, so they're kind of like this like blank slate, and that's kind of what he felt like to me. Yeah,
that's an interesting point. I mean, the movie started with him moments before his execution.
Assassination?
He was executed, like the final shot to the head.
Okay,
but it wasn't.
Is that a determination?
People call that an execution. It's not like an execution as a punish. Like.
So what's it? All right. So hold on. So
he was assassinated. I was just being.
No. I'm like, listen. I'm not being pedantic. I'm not.
I don't know. Like the Aaron Hernandez thing. Like, they killed him execution style.
Okay.
Like I mean, that was more execution style.
That feels more execution.
He was on. They brought him to a random place, had him on his knees, and shot him in the head.
Okay. So
this wasn't so much that, but like the final.
He was assassinated execution style.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe that's what we can say.
So a murder.
Did I say Aaron Rodgers or Aaron Hernandez?
You said, wait, you sound like you just said the same thing twice. It sounded like you just said, did I say Aaron Hernandez or Aaron Hernandez?
No, Aaron Rodgers.
No, you said Aaron Hernandez.
Okay, Aaron Hernandez. I don't want to put that on Aaron Rodgers for those
I don't think Aaron
know.
Rodgers has done anything except for say I'm immunized.
Yeah.
So an execution.
And maybe prove that he thinks he's smarter than everyone.
Yeah. So an execution is where you take somebody to another place. That feels like it makes sense to me, where it's like you take someone to another place with the intent of executing them.
Yeah.
And then an assassination is like, hey, I'm going to show up and surprise you.
Yeah, like an ambush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Now that we've got that settled.
I mean, despite these talkings, I still feel the same about the movie. Like, I liked watching it. I liked the performances.
Yeah.
It was far from perfect, but I jumping the gun. But I definitely give it like a solid 4.
Okay.
Gucci handbags out of 5.
Wow, dude. Ooh.
For me, as I get older, as long as I'm not, I don't know why as I get older, but these days.
For me now, as I get older,
if a movie has good, like art direction and you know, dare I say mise en scène, like it just looks and feels good, and the story is decent enough or to good, and it doesn't feel like it drags.
Yeah.
Then it's a good movie to me. And for me, it hit. It wasn't perfect. I was once wondering. I think there's missed opportunities. But I think I still feel pretty good about my rate, how I feel about it.
I think it needs more. I think it needs. They either need to do a better job of writing it,
or editing,
it.
Yeah.
Or they need 9 episodes.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, this could have been a good HBO special. Or
Well, because that's what they did with the Gianni Versace thing.
what happened there?
Is he got murdered.
Damn.
Yeah.
Italians are wilding out.
Well, but he didn't get murdered by another Italian dude. He got murdered by a guy who went on a rampage.
Oh. Where can I watch this?
It's probably on Netflix. It was part of
Like American Murder?
American Crime Stories.
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy did the assassination of Gianni Versace.
Oh, I think I remember this. I remember it being around. It was the
yeah.
one that, or the one after one after OJ was
one
like
after
the twins.
OJ was Gianni Versace.
Oh, it was okay.
I think. Was there another one?
There's like these twins that murdered their whole family or something. Like it was like a rich family.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
No, that's real, but I didn't know that he made a show about that.
Maybe they did. Maybe it's a documentary. I don't. This is irrelevant. But like, Italians are crazy.
Menendez brothers.
Okay.
They did it. That was interesting.
I feel like out of
But I don't think that they're Italian.
No, I wasn't saying
I'm
they're
pretty sure
Italian.
they were Cuban.
But like out of,
I don't want to put that. I don't know.
but I feel like, like the Italian, like I feel like that if I were to get stranded abroad in Europe, it'd be in Italy.
Yeah.
Like their justice system is interesting. This isn't Italy, but this is still Europe, very close. When I was in, you see the cops do weird things there, I guess. And one of the ones I remember specifically, probably because it was the first thing I saw, was I was in Marseille, south of France.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. Marseille. I think it's Marseille.
I think it's Marseille.
And because it's Versailles and it's Marseille. And just walking around, and all of a sudden I see a cop car and 4 cops. Well, the driver stays in. 3 cops get out, pick this dude up off the side of the street, throw him in the car, and drive away.
Ooh.
It's like, you don't see that happen at home.
Yeah. I was in Amsterdam, and I might be misremembering this story. I was in Amsterdam, and I saw we were like just south of the red light district or something like that. Like there's a red light district is across one of the many little
Canals.
I was going to say rivers.
Saved
One of the
you.
many canals. And so then it was this way. And then it's like normal Amsterdam. I mean, red light district is normal Amsterdam. It's just prostitutes.
Yeah. Good times.
Sure. Robert Kraft.
Yep.
What was I going to say?
It was in Europe.
We were in Europe.
Euro
And
trip.
anyway, like the cops were just fighting like this group of like 3 kids. Not like kids, but like young and they were like one guy, and then they started to like really roll up the cops.
Jeez.
And we kept walking. We were like,
Yeah, I don't want
And I remember in Italy,
I won't mess with any cop.
I would
But
never
like at least with our cops, not commentating on them, but at least I like culturally I'm American, they're American. I know some things about them.
Yeah.
But like in Europe, and I know the rights that I have, and I know the rights that they do respect mostly.
Yeah.
Or at least the backbone. But over there, it's like
I would. Yeah. Well, I was just about to say, it's like I wouldn't fuck with any sort of. I wouldn't fuck with that.
Yeah.
Abroad, like I'm like, okay,
No.
I'm just gonna.
I have
stay here.
I have a friend who's an officer in the army and stationed in Italy, and he Snapchatted him doing a report for a soldier that got into a fight and punched a carabinieri or whatever. I was like, fuck.
A cop.
Yeah, an Italian cop, traffic, not traffic, but like I think equivalent to our state troopers. And I was like, fuck, that guy's. I would not want it. Like, that's terrible, and the ramifications of that in the U.S. are huge.
Yeah.
And it's probably equal to Italy, and you're gonna be stuck through like bureaucratic red tape for like ever. That's some stranded abroad shit.
I remember I was staying in someplace in Rome, and just seeing cops with fucking
Beretta Air X160s. I know what they got.
Assault rifles, essentially. And I was like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
They just got assault rifles. And then I remember where I walked past a place, and I was like, it said like this stuff, and I was like, I saw the word mafia, and I was like, huh. And I was like, what does that mean? And they were like, that's the mafia force. Like, that's like for the mafia people or whatever. And I was like, huh. Now?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I think
It's just organized crime.
yeah, they're It is interesting how we don't do that in the U.S.
Organized crime?
No, the essentially, I think they're soldiers. I don't think they're militarized police. They could be, but like people around these famous landmarks are ready to like throw down if someone tries to try something.
Yeah. Well,
And
we don't have that. We don't have fucking 1,000-year-old fucking statues.
Yeah, but I would argue that at least Washington D.C. is a potential big target. Just due
Yeah,
to
but even then,
so do you think that the historical significance and history behind these things is warrants it over like the Washington Monument?
well, and what I'll say is, it's easier to recreate. It's easier to recreate plaster and stone and have it look that way than it is to recreate Bernini doing a masterwork 400, 500 years ago.
There's priceless
Like,
stuff there, but it is an interesting.
That's mainly what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like, listen. And then also there's like a preservation of like, if you're in the Forum, you know, I don't think that there's Carabinieri Day.
I don't remember seeing anyone.
I don't think there was anyone in there, but it's like, this is layers of thousands of years of history.
Yeah.
Like thousands of years, going back to like early BC stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. Like, no offense, America, but we can recreate whatever we've wrought over the Native Americans. We've already plowed over all their pyramids.
So it doesn't bother you if it feels justified?
What?
The armed, essentially fully armed soldiers?
It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Like, it was...
I mean, it doesn't bother me. I feel safe. And I feel safe when I see armed people at the airports and stuff like that. I just think it's interesting that we don't have that in the U.S. Capitol.
Yeah.
When you see it in Paris and in Rome, and I'm sure in Berlin and Vienna and other capitals. It's just interesting. But, I mean, they do have a proximity to where
they are.
these things originate from sometimes.
Yeah, I think that it's I don't know. I think when it comes to art,
The true artist.
when it comes to art, that's where it's like, hey, don't fuck with this art,
Yeah.
okay? This art, don't fuck with it,
Yeah.
okay? You get shot if you fuck with this art. These white buildings in America, fuck with them.
Yeah. I mean, the British burned them down already.
We already rebuilt them. They're gonna
Yeah.
get a new coat of paint anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead and shit on it. Do a little poop on it. Poop on the wall.
Poop on the shit.
Poop on the shit.
We calling our stuff shit.
So where did she get thrown into jail? You don't know. That's a dumb question to ask.
No, I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
I went in completely blind and
I thought it was gonna be Jared Leto, but then like as the movie progressed, it became clear.
so you knew he died.
I didn't know he died,
Yeah. I thought it was pretty clearly her. Like she's
but also,
crazy. Like very quickly you realize she's crazy.
well, I didn't know. I actually didn't know that he died. I knew that somebody died.
Mm.
And I wasn't sure who.
Mm-hmm.
But like the first shot of the movie, I was like, oh, okay, so it's Adam Driver.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna like piece this together throughout this movie. Yeah, I don't know. I was disappointed that they couldn't work things out. And I feel like Ridley Scott was also disappointed that they couldn't work things out. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, man, just like look at the photo book she made.
I
But
mean-
also on the other end, knowing it's like, this crazy lady made me
Yeah.
a photo book of our old relationship. I don't know.
That scene was shots. I sympathized with her, which was frustrating because she.
You did some crazy stuff, lady.
Yeah, and then like he comes across so cold, but he's doing exactly what he needs to be. But I still felt
Yeah.
like he was in the wrong, and I don't like that because like, you know, I was in his position, you know, so it's like frustrating that I feel that, you know, having been through a relationship, kind of not to that degree, but like but something similar, you know, to that with that just toxic and
dropping that hot goss over here.
Emotionally abusive, toxic relationship.
Whoa.
You know, but then like it's like, why am I sympathizing with
Yeah.
you know, and maybe it's just a performance thing, you know, it's like, damn, she's doing a good job. I like that. I sympathize with the character because I like the performance and the art, you know, and not the whatever,
not the story,
not the content.
the actual, not the content.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I miss a lot. I want so much more. I don't know. I feel like I say that a lot though. Because there's such a good nugget of a story here.
Yeah.
There's such a really cool, good nugget of a story. Here, let me rewrite it real fast. Let me just do it. Let's rewrite it real fast. First 10 minutes, we're going to go Godfather style.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go the first big sale of the two brothers. You know, maybe they first open their store. We're gonna up it. You know, essentially we're going to have 10 minutes of fucking Gucci.
Yeah.
This is a family. Family. We see their success. We see their little
Working
things.
together.
They're big breakthroughs.
Mm-hmm.
Smash cut to
Maybe something with the sons, the cousins.
I would say I almost smash cut to like smash cut. So all right, so we got the 10 minutes, we see it, and then maybe we end our like little 10-minute Gucci thing. I don't know their story at all, but maybe we end with a shot of Maurizio.
Mm-hmm.
We end with a shot of Maurizio being like, this is my boy. I'm so fucking proud of this boy. Blah, blah, blah. Great stuff. The future of Gucci. We got the two brothers.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Lady Gaga. She can have her same entrance, do her thing. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we have like a quick shot of her as a young child looking in a Gucci store.
Yeah.
And she says the same thing.
Well, I think... Can I cut you off?
Cut me off, dude.
As someone just going in blind, you don't know, maybe for 30 minutes or more, like, is Adam Driver like the starter of Gucci? Is this like the rise where he has the name Gucci, obviously, but
yeah,
you know, it takes a while for it definitively, like, no, Gucci's established, because you don't see anything from Gucci.
Yeah.
You see his dad, and they don't really talk about anything besides that he used to be a movie star.
For like a second.
Yeah, and like, but you don't know about him and the family business and like what you like. So for me, not knowing anything, I was like, okay, cool. This will be like,
oh, this is the beginning of Gucci.
Yeah, like his cousin is going to be the designer, or like, you know, you don't get the establishment of it existing until
it doesn't feel like a fall. It feels like a rise.
Like the second or third scene with Al Pacino, because even the first one, that wasn't answered for me yet.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just the fall.
Yeah, it's just the fall.
But again, as we said earlier, it wasn't well done, because you just get, the only way you know the fall's coming is because of these buyouts, really.
Yeah.
And passive comments from designers saying, "Oh, no one would design for Gucci." It's like, why? You know, there's things alluded to that like they're old and they're not adapting. You know, they're sticking to the old style.
Yeah.
But then later on, you have them commenting how they're not selling the trinkets and stuff anymore that Aldo wants.
Aldo, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
Al Pacino.
So was he doing a good job then? Like,
oh wait, hold on. So he was doing a good job then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't know.
So then we pick up. We'll do one shot of. We'll do that. We'll do like 10 minutes of that, and then we'll do one shot of young Lady Gaga looking into a Gucci store, and her mom slaps her in the face or some. I don't fucking know. And is like, get out of it. We can't afford that. No voiceover necessary. Smash cut to she walks away. She walks right into our next shot. We love a little smash cut of her walking into the thing. Because then that sets up that she's like striving. She's walking to this job, and we think that she's walking. She's fancy. Like maybe she's come up. But no, she's walking to her fucking dirty ass garbage truck thing, or the truck store. You know, she's walking to the truck store. And then essentially the same, you know, but we have maybe a little bit more. We have a little bit more context, and maybe we get to see. Because I love that, like her courtship of him. Mm-hmm. It sets it up, but I think that maybe we were with her a little bit more. Like, and we kind of like. I just think that we stay with her. I don't know, man. It's just I'm missing so much of the little things. And I think that there's a good, like, I honestly think there's a good movie in here, but I don't know. I mean, I'd have to sit with it. No one's asking me to write it, so I'm not going to. They've already literally made it. They got Adam Driver and Lady Gaga. They didn't ask me to do it, but still, like, it's like, there's something that's like that fucking nugget of this lady thought she was doing everything to fucking build her man up.
Yeah.
And then he was like, guess what? You are. Guess what? You are. Thank you. I love you. Oh, we're doing this together. We're doing a great job. And then out of nowhere, he's like, seemingly out of nowhere, he's like, actually, get fucked.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Everything you were doing for me was wrong.
Yeah.
And you knew it because you're evil.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what? And so I think that there can be, I mean, that's our third act right there.
Yeah. I of course like to see the technical rise and fall and logistics and like.
And they didn't give you a lot of that.
And they don't give you any of that, and that, I think.
I want to see like the design stuff too. Like I want to see like.
They need it like.
They fucking built up Tom Ford. They were like, ooh, and then I was like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Again, not knowing much about fashion. Mm-hmm. But then they were like, they revealed it, and it felt like a little fart.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like a weird if you know you know kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which was like, I don't know. Is this a movie made for the fashion industry or something? I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that there's definitely because I mean I agree. It's like I don't agree with your 4 Gucci handbags.
Maybe 3.5 is what I should give it.
Listen, man, you give it 4 if you want to give it 4.
It's 4 fake Gucci handbags.
Ooh, Fucci, baby.
Whatever that means. I don't know. I think I'm gonna bring it down to 3.5. Maybe 3. The more I talk about it. The thing is, I haven't had a chance to decompress because we watched it.
We watched it, and then we were running around. And we were just like sitting in the car.
We drove in silence because we couldn't talk about it. And but my statement still stands. Like, if a movie looks good, feels good performance, like everyone does a good job, and besides editing and writing, that like everything else can make up for bad editing and bad. And
I don't know.
editing.
Bad editing is bad.
Yeah, but this wasn't bad.
This wasn't bad editing. It was just like interesting choices.
Yeah.
I would say I'm gonna give it 2.5.
Salma Hayek.
So I'm gonna give it 2.5 confusing Salma Hayek cameos.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden she's now part of the movie. She's like a weird insert. She's like, oh, I think we were both like, oh fuck, okay, Salma Hayek, there she is. And then she's a fucking major part of the movie.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's like a Stranger Than Fiction thing.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
It is crazy that Salma Hayek actually had a previous career as a fortune teller, and then still was able to get out of jail.
Yeah, and then star in the Eternals.
Because it was actually Salma Hayek who helped plan this hit.
The Pina.
Yeah. It was her stage name.
Pina, yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna give it 2.5 Fuji belts.
Nice. Well, what have you been watching?
I've been watching Succession.
Nice.
I've been watching Succession. I watched the Philadelphia 76ers and the Golden State Warriors.
Nice.
That was fun. That's a lit atmosphere.
Very lit.
Very lit. Very boo heavy. There was a dude who there was like a dude and his son. It was funny because I went up with my dad. Real quick story. I went up with my dad and we were hanging out. We're both like watching the game. Like, oh yeah, here we're examining the game. The dude next to us is there with his son and maybe his friends or something like that. And they're getting progressively drunker and drunker throughout the game. And the dude, the dad next to me was had so much rage about but not like fan rage, like, oh, you fucking suck, but like Seth Curry would miss his shot and he'd be like, you fucking idiot, I swear to God, you gotta make that shot.
That's just
And it was like,
embarrassing.
Jesus Christ. And I was like, man. But then meanwhile, his son next to him, and again, I'm assuming it was his son, I don't know if it was his son, he's getting drunker and drunker throughout the game. And it was like his dad was getting embarrassed of the son that he raised throughout the game. And at one point, he stood up with his beer and threw it over the rows in front of us. And was like, the dad was like, you fucking idiot. And the guy in front of us was like, are you kidding me? He turned around. He was like, I knew. Was that you who lost something? I knew you were. I knew you were going to lose something. I knew you were going to lose something. They turned around. They enjoyed the game. And then, like, initially the dude who threw his beer was, like, apologetic and stuff. But then throughout the course, like, a little bit later, he's like, hey, say something, you fucking bitch. Say something.
What the fuck?
And the dad was like, shut the fuck up, you fucking idiot. And it was amazing. Anyway,
Philly.
the Warriors lost. The Sixers won.
God.
It was a interesting event. But I saw that, and I watched Succession. Succession is fun.
It's a good business movie. Or a big good business story.
Good business show, yeah. It definitely makes you want to, like, cut deals and, like,
Dude.
be like,
We still need to wear a suit and walk into a restaurant like you just closed a big deal.
oh, my God.
That's how we need to go to Vegas as if we closed a big deal.
Yes!
I watched Encanto, and I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. And now that I look at Hasaguchi compared to that doesn't feel fair.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna actively, real time.
Real time. You guys are seeing it, hearing it now.
I am bumping Hasaguchi to 3 stars.
Bumping it down. Get the fuck out of here.
But yeah, I've watched Encanto, enjoyed it. Maybe we'll talk about it, so I won't say too much. And then I've been watching Man in the Arena.
Ooh.
Tom Brady masturbatory documentary. But as a Pats fan, it's catnip, so I'm digging it. It's an ESPN Plus special. It's good, and I think this direction comes from Tom Brady, but there's a lot of annoying editing with imagery of like storms and animals. You're like, yeah, we were so fucking good that year. Cuts to like lions and waves crashing and shit. Just like dumb shit like that. And it's like, yeah, this came from the 44-year-old man who's just getting into content.
Yeah.
And has ideas that he's paying people to do.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. Like all these, I think I talked about this already too. Like about how fucking bad Space Jam: A New Legacy was.
Really?
Did I talk about this?
I thought you liked it.
Oh no, it was awful.
I want to see it.
You should watch it. It's very bad. We can definitely talk about Space Jam: A New Legacy and like the athletes making content, and then like because it's very confusing because LeBron James was very good in Trainwreck. Like he was very entertaining and funny in Trainwreck, but he is awful.
Huh?
He is awful. The script is awful. The concept is.
Maybe it's him appeasing kids or being like a for all ages.
It doesn't make
acting.
sense. Listen, you should watch the movie.
Yeah, I don't know
and
what
within the first like 10 minutes, you're gonna be like, because what do you know? Let me ask you right now. What do you know about LeBron James? His persona, his like who he is as a person.
I mean, it's pretty typical megastar athlete.
Okay, well that doesn't really help me at all.
He's like,
how do you think that he is as a dad?
Maybe better than Michael Jordan.
Okay. Okay.
Is that a fair answer?
Sure. But
Kevin, who is the better dad? From your knowing 0.0001% of their fatherhood.
I am not qualified to make a comment on that. Based on these movies, Michael Jordan's a better dad.
Oh, yeah. With his fake family. I think we talked about that. It would be so confusing as a kid to watch your dad pretend to have another family.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Why? That's my actual dad.
Do you not love me?
You're calling him his name.
Yeah, fuck these kids.
But it is there's a lot of like sort of scuttlebutt about in the circles that I run in the one sports podcast that I listen to, the Dan Limbertard Show. You guys don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You guys hate me.
I used to listen to them when I was on radio.
I love them.
Yeah.
What
Used to be my what I listened to when I drove when I lived in this area. I mean, I guess I listen wherever, but whatever.
No. You can only listen to in Wilmington as you drive around. Either Wilmington or Miami. Those are the only two places that get people to listen.
So what do you say in the show?
So, but they're like, hey, it's crazy. All these athletes are making their own documentaries about themselves now. So we're not going to get, like, even with King Richard, how Serena and Venus were like essentially executive producers on it, where it's like, we're getting their story, but the way that they want it to be told. Yeah. Which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like...
Same thing, too, with Last Dance. As much as I love Last Dance.
It's always existed as for as long as there's been people in power and fame.
Yeah.
But it is so evident, the persona of that it's their world that we're living in.
Yeah. It's
so evident there, and it's more just like disenfranchising and alienating. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And like, I love Tom Brady, and I think, I've actually learned a lot from him as watching him and like his approach and dedication and the Patriots' whole way and stuff. I've been invested enough where it's impacted who I am.
Yeah.
But it's still like, it's more and more I see this stuff. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Chill out. Like, you're very like your privilege is showing so fucking much.
Yeah.
And your snake oil business is taking advantage of people during a crisis with the COVID-19 and saying your products fix things that they don't.
Yeah.
It's a icky thing.
It's a sticky wicket.
Yeah. So this it's doing the opposite. Like, they're fucking cool stories. They're crafting them fun, but it's also, it's just, I don't know. There's too much stroking ourselves off there.
Yeah. We're just going to leave it there.
Yeah, so...
There's too much stroking ourselves off here.
Thank you guys for watching. And go buy some Stinky Popcorn Boys merch.
Yeah,
it's really good
check
merch.
it out at jtmerch.com. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
check it out at jtmerch.com. Hit us up wherever podcasts come.
And go.
Just stroking ourselves off too much.
Yeah.
We love you. Thank you so much for listening, watching, whatever you were doing. And, as they say in Milan, hey, quit stroking yourself off too much. I'm going to shoot ya.
Forget about it. I don't know. It's like an American Italian.
Forget about it.
All right, bye.
Hey, bye, I love you.